Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, hello. How are you today? I am Gabriella, and this is GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to bring to you our next guest. Really highly accomplished and so much great value to bring to you guys today. Dr. Arthie-Moore Robberts. Hi, Dr. Arthie. How are you today?
I am brilliant and awesome meeting you, Gabriella.
I am so honored that you agreed to let me interview you. You have such an amazing background and so much value to bring to us today. Let's start by having you tell our audience all about your expertise.
I feel that I'm accomplished in so many areas, but one of the beautiful things is learning how to give people the ability to respect each other in the way they wish to be respected. So I took diversity and inclusion and turned it into the Celebrating Humanity experience so that we get to connect on a human level with each other. And I think that's the most exquisite part about being human.
I love that. And you and I had such a great conversation about that before we started. It's such a dichotomous topic depending on where you are in the world. We talked about in the US and we talked about in Africa where you are and a little bit about other countries. It's perceived completely differently depending on where you are.
Yeah, I think that's also an exquisite part of diversity and inclusion. It's all about understanding, it's about respect, it's about thoughtfulness. And I think more than that, it's about compassion and kindness because we're all wanting to walk this earth for various reasons. But I think that the way that we connect with each other, we are always fully in control of how we make other people feel by understanding them at a deeper level. And if we just took that time, just a few minutes to understand the person and ask them questions that are meaningful and respectful, we then are being intentional in how we build a relationship so that we can have more incredible interactions with each other on any level.
And it's little things. It's not
Mm.
even big things. There are very small things that we can change and do that open up a whole world. So, Dr. Arthie, I know that you have a really incredible story about how you wound up in this space in the first place and bringing yourself to this level of expertise. Will you share that with us?
I grew up in a very segregated community. Growing up in apartheid South Africa, we were always separated according to our culture and our backgrounds.
Mm.
So we never got to connect with people of other cultures. And I think one of the brilliant things was that at 18, from a person of my culture never ventured into another community of people of different backgrounds. So
Huh.
when I did eventually go into a community, I had a lot of fears. I had unconscious biases, a lot of prejudices and fears, because that is what was instilled within us.
Yeah.
And it took one incident of going into a community, which was really phenomenal because I went in there with so much fear, but all I found was love and thoughtfulness in the interaction. And that
Nice.
triggered within me the need and the love to actually understand people of other cultures and then bring that awareness to the people of our country. So the journey at 18 was the trigger. But what grew from that was building that whole thing of how can we celebrate the human experience. And so from there, I traveled throughout our country, living with people of different cultures, learning how to greet people in their language, learning what is the respectful body language, the nuances of how they want to be understood, how they want to be communicated with, taking out all of the things that does not deserve any place in interaction. Sarcasm, sexual jokes, innuendos, things that demean people based on the color of their hair, their age, their weight, their sexual orientation, even religious jokes or things that demeans people. I packaged it in a way that allowed people to interact at the level of how do I make you feel when you're in my presence, which means that is my responsibility to take full control of what falls. I mean, and that's why I'm writing the book, The Compassionate Leader of Influence, because I believe that in order for us to influence our environment, the planet, the people that we engage with, we need to come from the level of compassion and understanding. Now, people talk about you can be a leader of influence. and we need empathy and you need vulnerability. But do we create the safe place for people to actually engage in that way? And I
Right.
believe that empathy is the emotion that you feel for somebody. You may not understand their journey, but it's that emotion that you trigger within you to actually connect on that level. Compassion is the behavior of how you can allow that person into your space, or how you can create energy around you that helps them to grow because of your presence in their life. So that is where I felt that, compassion is an incredible key to our growth and where we can
Absolutely.
go as people.
When compassion also can be a bridge, because I have the ability to have empathy,
Yeah.
but you also have to be able to receive the empathy, and having the
Yes.
compassion to bridge for both sides to have the empathy come together. So when we were talking, you mentioned that you have a quote that is very influential and inspirational to you. And that whole mindset matters and knowing I can do it is really important. So will you share with us about this quote that was inspiring to you?
It's a quote by Elenor Rosevelt, and she very succinctly says that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent.
Mhm.
So no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And I think what's beautiful about that is that we do not have to allow people to take advantage of us. We don't have to be somebody's doormat. We don't have to allow bullying. We don't have to allow narcissistic behavior from other people towards us. We don't have to demean ourselves to nothingness. We don't have to accept racism. We don't have to accept gender-based violence or any of the things that actually hurts us at the level of the soul.
Yeah.
You see, the simplicity of that is that you can look at the human experience by intellectualizing it. What we've been taught is at the state of the mind. It impacts the way we feel. That's the state of the heart. And all of that leads to diminishing our spirit and how we then see ourselves, our confidence, our self-esteem. But in order to change and to evolve as people, we've got to connect to the level of the soul. So soul connection is so much more deeper. And that is why
Absolutely.
compassion is the key once again.
Wow, that's such an insightful quote. And I love your articulation of the meaning behind it. It resonates with me. And I think most people, when they really take the simplicity of it
Mm.
and listen to what you said, it's applicable to literally everybody.
I actually love sayings because when we reflect deeply on it, we can then kick out the ones that make sense to us and get rid of the ones that programs us. And if you look at the glass ceiling effect, that
Right.
is the one I kick out. And the reason I kick it out is because that has programmed us to believe that there is something holding us back, which is a mindset thing. So if you look at glass, in my mind, it is see-through and it is transparent and can be broken, which means that we have got full ability and access to breaking the things that we believe holds us back in our thinking, in our behaviors, in our habits. And we are not limited by somebody's saying. But when you find a beautiful saying like that, you actually take it within yourself and reflect, how does it impact me and why? What do I need to adjust? And how can I use that in my everyday interaction? And that's how you cement change in your life.
Absolutely. Hello, hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and say thank you to our sponsors. It is through the generous support of these sponsors that we are able to bring to you these amazing experts that are sharing their best tips for your success. So please listen to what our sponsors have to say, and hopefully they're going to inspire you that you're going to click their links and go support them.
Is your computer secure? Is your personal information at risk? Global internet traffic is at an all-time high due to COVID, with mobile accounting for over half of it. Is your financial data under attack? People are on YouTube and Facebook and all over social media. Hackers are everywhere. Can you protect yourself? Tech Assist can help. I think I've been hacked. Help. Keep your personal data safe. Oh no, my computer isn't working. Abby and Dar are your answer.
Ever wish you had a generous, wealthy uncle? Well, this Gab Talk sponsor may be the next best thing. If you've ever found yourself wishing some successful person would willingly invest their time, energy, and money in you to help you crawl out of the drudgery of your life, then this is your lucky day. Most people will ignore this. They'll think it's too good to be true. But if you'll pay attention, you may just discover that he is the guy. And as you might imagine, this is exactly why I've been asked not to reveal his identity. If I did, he would surely be overwhelmed by countless people sending in their sob stories in hopes of getting a handout. Well, he can't help everybody. He's not a charity. He's a business philanthropist, and he's made millions and would like to give back. He's willing to give a few total strangers a hand up. If you would like him to invest in you and you want more wealth, better health, and a drastically improved quality of life, simply click the link and tell him your story. Be honest. He'll see what he can do. I can't promise he's going to solve all of your problems, but he will make you this promise. If you have the courage to tell your story, he'll read every word and give you a valuable gift just for doing so. So go ahead. What are you waiting for? Click the link and share your story.
So if you were able to go back to that younger self when you were still in the community before you ventured out, and you were to give one piece of advice that could really help them, what would that be?
Something that I actually created as my own saying and my own belief. It's give yourself permission that you do not have to like every person you meet. However, your ability to show respect and be respectful is a direct reflection of your character and dignity as a human being. It's taught me to trust my intuition, that not all people have got your best interests at heart, but that doesn't mean that you've got to demean yourself and lower yourself to somebody else's level. Never bring yourself down to somebody else's level, bring them up to yours. However, if you're not evolving as a human being, what are you bringing them up to?
So John Maxwell has written 200 and something books, and I've read a bunch of them. And one of the things he talks about, and this has come up in several interviews, is what he calls the leadership lid. And there's different levels of leadership. And you can, if there's 10 levels of leadership and you're on level 3, you can only lead people up to level 2. And then you have to increase your level before you can increase leading other people. I love that because I'm always looking, how can I increase my leadership? Because the better leader I am, the more what I say will resonate with them. And then I bring people up to my level. And a really good leader is always trying to bring people up to their level instead of trying to keep people down at the lower levels. This is where I'm going to ask you about advice and tips and success tips that our audience can go use right now and take action on to help get them closer to their next level of success.
One of the things that I'd love to do is actually share with you an excerpt from my value of compassion, which talks about the compassionate leader of influence. A compassionate person does not react to the negative ways in which people treat them. They choose to see the lesson and embrace the moment without reacting. They think carefully about why the person behaved in a certain way, and then they choose to respond in a positive way. Now, that resonates with me because there are so many different areas as tips and tools and expertise that we can draw from it. How do we respond to people when our first thing within us as a human behavioral trait is to look at why do they say that to me? Are they demeaning me? And we always dumb down conversations. They're hurting me, they're intentional. And maybe if you just stop long enough. So being intentional in the way you listen. So you listen in order to understand rather than respond. And that I learned from a traditional leader in the rural areas. When I was sitting at community meetings, they actually listened and they never interrupted. And people would be in the hundreds sitting in this community meeting. But when one person stood up, everybody went silent. Nobody interrupted. When that person sat down, the next person stood up. There was intentional listening that is totally different to the way we teach listening skills now. So when you think about the ability to listen intentionally, you will find that you'll respond because you did not come with prejudgments or preconceived ideas of how you think that person was addressing you or what they said. You
Right.
don't take offense and get sensitive immediately without understanding context. And the other area of it is that when you are listening with that kind of intention, you learn. So where curiosity comes in, it expands your mind. It actually encourages you to level up in your thinking, in embracing knowledge and experience for other people. And that's the whole thing about being inclusive. My thinking is not the only thinking. Other people's thinking adds value to me. I am choosing to learn from you because I don't know what your experiences have been. And so what I do in that moment by listening intentionally, I actually see you and I make you feel like you exist. And that is what most human beings are looking for in this life. They want to feel like they exist. And when you do that in a few minutes, just keep quiet long enough to listen. You make that person feel honored, valued, and respected as a human being. And that's powerful.
I think it's something that everybody wants, like you said. And many of us don't know how to do that and give that to other people. It's a skill that I have been working on improving a lot. And if you'd known me years ago, you would have been like, nope, you don't listen to anything. And still sometimes I'm not good at it, but I've gotten much better because I've had amazing teachers like you that have taught me to be better. On each episode of GabTalks Success Tips from Experts, we like to highlight a hero sponsor who is a business that chooses to highlight a do-good organization in their own community that is bettering the world. Today's hero sponsor is...
Hello, I'm Dr. Anna Maria Bliven, founder and CEO of Prosperity Pathways, LLC. We get people their jobs of their dreams. We help them start a business or organization, and we even help them along their career pathway. It gives me great pleasure to bring to your attention and honor the hero of the moment, Onward and Upward. Onward and Upward does everything in its power to help those that are homeless, without jobs, without the use of their own computer, get back on their feet. They help people learn what it is that they need to do to get an online job, to get an on-site job. So Onward and Upward is giving a hand up to those that need it. Their website, onwardupwardinc.org. Get in touch with them if you need their help or if you would like to support them. Again, this is Dr. Anna Maria Bliven, founder and CEO of Prosperity Pathways, wishing you a blessed day.
I think a lot of people could learn a whole lot from you. And I know that there's a way that we can reach out and find out how we can get your book and coaching and diversity lessons and find out more information from you and about you. Will you share with us where they can find you?
Yes, they can actually contact me at www.arthie-moore.com. And my social media handles are all at Arthie-Moore Robberts. So that will be awesome to connect with you guys on any of those.
Fantastic. And the Arthie is Arthie, and Roberts has 2 B's in it.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. And you guys, don't forget, we will have the links down below in the show notes in the description. And I know that you have something really awesome for them when they do go to your website. Will you tell us about that?
Absolutely. I wrote The Value of Compassion, which began Transformation Lebanon 2 years ago. And that is available for download on my website, arthie-moore.com.
You want to make sure that you click the link and go get yourself a copy of The Value of Compassion. It's all the stuff we were just talking about today, and learn more about what Dr. Arthie does. Reach out to her, connect with her on social, go check out her website. You are going to get so much value when you speak to her directly. I know I have, and I am super excited to further the conversation with you. You guys, make sure you click the subscribe. Don't forget to set the reminder so that you find out when our next episode is airing. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.